Yo guys, what's up? Today we are gonna start something. We are gonna look at Alpha and Dominus hybrid and hybrid. But first let's talk about Alpha and Dominus. So I just have looked here, I read the post. Now about Alpha and Dominus hybrid. Here I told him if I can literally make a render and he said yes. So I made it. Now let's explain the units. First of all, as you can see, renders. It has a lot of DNA, but I forgot. So here it is. First off, it has Rex DNA, Stonefish DNA, and you know, I'm just gonna edit the process, okay? So now, the DNA of this size will be Argentine star DNA, being the largest circle in the whole world. And so, to put that would be a good idea. Now it's bright. It has a venomous bright. So it has short-tailed shoe, I think, little for no serrated teeth. Black mama DNA and DNA, King Cobra for the venom, so the hybrid can kill its prey or then neutralize the bread and eat it alive. Now, the osteoderms can produce venom. It's like literally the osteoderms can produce venom, much like the stonefish. Whenever the osteoderms get bitten, it will literally release the venom. Not only the hybrid can escape from its injuries, but also killing the prey. Now, one thing for sure is that what's the size? Well, you will be shocked, but here you go. The size is literally 100 meters tall in height and 200 meters long 200 meters long in length. Now, I don't know if it's really mostly accurate, but here we go. Now its structure. The arms are from an orangutan DNA and chimpanzee DNA, being the world's most strong. They have the strongest grip and also huge muscles, so it can literally just do about anything. Now, one thing for sure, I don't really know if it can defeat my own hybrid, the Scorpodominus Rex or the Scorpodominus Rex. You call what you want. Now, it can definitely kill you, but now let's move on to its structure. Now, the hybrid of a Dominus is really, I don't know, it's modified, but you modify it more. But yeah. And then it got the macaw DNA for literally living longer, and camel DNA for literally keeping it, for literally not starving, can store up water and food. But anyways, hope you all enjoy the hybrid. Now let's move to mine. First off, I forgot. Okay. Now the Scorpodominus Rex or Scorpodominus Rex, you call it whatever you want. Now let's talk about the disadvantages. Now it has Scorpius Rex DNA, which enables some disorders. Now here it is. First off, the Scorpodominus Rex has only thermal vision. It only have for thermal vision, so you can see heat vision. Now don't mind the background noise literally. Now let's see. Okay, I'm bad at memorizing it. Now yes, this thing is very attracted to fire. Yes, this thing is really attracted to fire. When it sees fire, literally just chase, literally buying down, but it's really most. Now it has trouble breathing and that, but now here are the advantages of Scorpodominus. First off, this thing can literally crush any bone like Alpha and Dominus hybrid would in a pro version, but I did not do that. Second, it can really swim perfectly due to show the mosasaurus DNA. Yes, this has mosasaurus DNA. Stonefish DNA. If you don't see it right, if you see at my figure, it has like some osteoderms on like the dorsal plate, which makes it deadly and dangerous. Now, will there be a Scorpodominus Rex 2.0? I don't know this figure out. But anyways, I really bad memorized. Okay, now this is I remember something this band just don't want me. Okay, here we go. Sorry for anyways, now it's time for its growing process. Scorpodominus Rex, when born, does not have a crest or a little forefinger. It has three, and it does not have a crest and dorsal plates. But these grow out painfully. Well, it takes like some time to form a thick, big, sharp crest, and even the like spike the osteoderms on its hands really thick and also sharp. Now this thing usually have like a muscular and bulkier build like Alpha-Domus improved hybrid, which is kinda cool. Now this thing, the famous dagger. What does this serve a purpose? Well, the daggers are actually capable of delivering deadly venom, which is not shown in the render, but I just made okay due to Black Mamba DNA and King Cobra DNA, which have like fangs on the top, but rather on the bone, the jaw. Now this can really chase you. The sky can smell you miles away. So bye. Now can it really reproduce itself? Well, since it has Scorpius Rex DNA, it can theoretically. Now it has literally an Indoraptor DNA. You will see why. Now, one thing for sure, I'm really bad at memory, but give me 1 second. Now, I told in one of my posts that this thing could live forever. Well, yes, it's actually it could really theoretically live forever due to Indominus Rex, which has DNA such as DNA. I added DNA to it, by the way. Now, axolotl DNA. This thing can literally generate any injury, but depends now. How was this thing created back in one? It was created back in 2020. I really forgot. Okay, now see. Okay, it really has camel DNA, you purpose Macaw DNA, so yeah, it can. Now the lifespan of this guy is literally 200 years. This guy can live up to 200 years or thicker. Now the size is pretty much the same as Alpha-Domus hybrid and improved 5 version. But anyways, I'm really struggling with my memories. Okay, whatever. Now, one thing for sure is that I really forgot. Let me just think. Now, one thing for sure about the eyes, it has just like a Scorpius Rex eye, like. But anyways, not red actually. Now, could Scorpodominus Rex beat Alpha-Domus? But this is due to which it depends on the stupidity and IQ-ness of Scorpodominus Rex. First off, it has 20% Dominus Rex DNA, 20% Scorpius Rex DNA, 20% Indoraptor DNA, 10% of camel DNA because it can really remember you. 10% of Macaw DNA. You see why. Now look, and again 10% of human DNA due to its usability. So it's not actually like the human DNA is not actually full. Okay, no. The main DNA, the Scorpodominus Rex, is the Indominus Rex, the Scorpius Rex, the Indoraptor, and of course the mosasaurs. Yes, there's mosasaurs DNA. Now, the one thing for sure is that why do I keep yapping so much? Now, one thing for sure about the 3D printer. Don't worry, I'll get a laptop as soon as possible and 3D print YouTuber figures, blah blah blah, and all that. But anyways, now the Scorpius Rex DNA, the Scorpius Rex really lives up to the hype, I guess. But I'm now with that being said, I'm just gonna explain this because I really yap a lot.